Yes, good morning, distinguished listeners, distinguished audience, and welcome to another refreshing edition of P&B Morning Show, your favorite breakfast companion where information meets inspiration and every sunrise brings new possibility. It's a brand new day, a fresh page in the story of our lives, and no matter how yesterday ended, today gives us another opportunity to try again, to do better, to be better. And as you prepare for work, school, business, or whatever your schedule holds, we are right here with you, ready to keep you informed, entertained, and positively charged. On the program this morning, we will be serving you a healthy mix of latest headlines making waves across the nation and beyond, insightful conversations on issues that matter to you, and of course, uplifting moments to brighten your spirit. From politics to business, community stories to human interest features, P&B Morning Show remains your trusted platform for balanced and engaging discourse. Remember, every great achievement starts with a simple decision to begin. So, as you sip your tea or coffee this morning, take a deep breath and step into the day with confidence. Challenges may come, but so will opportunities. Stay focused, stay hopeful, and stay kind. I'm your host, and I am truly delighted to share this beautiful morning with you. Keep it locked right here. This is P&B Morning Show, where your day begins the right way. So let's get started. I am Omike Joseph Matthew, and with me, as always, is Chidi Kenneth.
Good morning, OJ.
Good morning to you.
I can see you're looking different today.
Yeah, you too. In fact, you are glowing this morning.
You're just radiating. You're looking like the I don't say, should I call it electoral act? The amended electoral act.
I'm at the amended electoral act now.
Well, I'm not aware.
So good morning to you.
Good morning, OJ.
So how is the weather like outside? I've not been outside this morning yet.
Well, the weather is a bit hazy, kind of. A mixture of, I don't know if I should say heat mixed with some moisture and like something like that. But the sun is not out yet.
Okay, so that's the weather situation from from our weatherman, unofficial weatherman.
I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a
meteorologist this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice not having you on the morning show right here on Politics and Business Television, reaching you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. And of course, we have a whole lot for you this morning. In a moment, we'll dive into the review of the newspapers for you. And today, we'll be discussing the issue of the Electoral Act. Chidi, the issue of the Electoral Act is still a burning issue. The Senate revisited the situation yesterday and came out with a resolution, but the controversy continues.
Burning issue.
Yes.
In other words, the bush is still burning.
Yes.
Well, OJ, quick one on that. Like we all know, the Senate convened yesterday and they promised us that they're going to look into the matter, which they did, in all fairness to them. It was an emergency, coupled with the fact that the protest was ongoing. In fact, yesterday, one of the highlights of the protest was that the then governor of Rivers State, which is one of the chief 10 of ADC,
yes,
Rotimi Amechi, was there with his son, the medical doctor, and he said that he brought his son, the medical doctor, in case anyone is injured.
Or maybe if the protest goes violent.
Well, yes, and we also noticed that some people were putting on some form of the obedient T-shirts. Hoodlums, well, allegedly wore the obedient T-shirts, and we saw that
they were trying to cause
yes, and
so that it will not be blamed on the obedience.
Yeah, to
look as if the obedience have.
And it was said that this is the first time a chieftain will come with his son live.
No, in Nigerian politics, anything can happen.
Yes,
anything can happen.
The drama is becoming more interesting.
It's more interesting. So this morning we shall be looking at that and looking at the electronic transmission brouhaha, and of course it has been approved. But the question is it a win for voters or a cause for concern? So we're having a guest this morning a social commentator who will be here to dissect this issue. And the AMAC elections upon us on the 21st of this month. We'll have the elections right here in Abuja, in the 6 area councils, and we'll be having a candidate who will be joining us this morning on the show to talk about what he has in stock for the Abuja residents, right?
Yes, you're quite right, OJ. He will be here live. He promises to be here, and we hope he's going to come so that he can throw more light on the happenings at AMAC Area Council.
And of course, his manifesto to the people.
Let's see what he has to offer to us.
All right, so let's go for a quick break. When we return, the newspaper review will come your way. All right, so you welcome back to the program P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. And it's about time for us to look at what the papers are saying this morning. And the very first one we have for you is the Daily Trust. Yes, the Daily Trust is carrying, of course, what we expect. The headline we expect.
Burning issue.
The burning issue. Yes, with the screen headline, Senate's e-transmission approval raises new question. Senate's e-transmission approval raises new questions. So if you really want to see those questions that this e-transmission approval that's the questions, then you need to check out the Daily Trust. So a quick one from you, Chidi. So what do you make of this headline? I know that all the papers will definitely be carrying this headline this morning.
OJ, I'm sure your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
The new question there is that,
yes,
just like you said this morning before we started the show, you said yes, the e-transmission has been approved, but you know, when those days when our father will talk to you after talking to you, you say, but when you hear that but, that means that there is a U-turn somewhere. And that is the case where we find ourselves today. The but there is that the Senate decided to say that, yes, we agree that there will be e-transmission, but in the case where there's network failure, the ECA, from ECA will be done manually. And I overheard one of the former governors of Kaduna State, was it Malam El-Rufai? I think I read it online, where he said that the rigging starts at the collation center where the form ECA is being used. So, and I tried to ask some questions. If you transmit in real time and there's no glitches, no electronic problems, why is it at the collation center where at least the collation center is not as cumbersome as the pooling units? So if the pooling units, let's take for example, let's say we have 6,000 pooling units, we should have about maybe 1,500 collation centers, because collation centers are where we centralize the vote. And you are saying at that stage, at that level, if there is a network problem, you can transmit manually. And that raises some concern, because at the polling centers, if we don't have that is always expect to have network problems. And we're not going, and you are not including that, but you are just saying at the when there's a need for such challenges, we should transmit or transfer manually. And that is the but there, the new concerns. And I think Nigerians are not really, it didn't go down well with Nigerians.
Oh, some Nigerians.
Some Nigerians. Yes, some Nigerians.
Some Nigerians. Okay, so let's continue some of the headlines. Atiku Makinde visits IBB, ex-VP 6 backing for ADC. That's another story there from the Delhi Trust. US to deport 97 Nigerians over immigration offenses. And of course, 10 killed, many adopted in Kogi, Benue. This story is a very interesting one coming from Benue State, and that is because I'm also from Benue State. We had some travelers from Utonkon. There is a community known as Utonkon traveling to Okpoga in Okpoku local government area. It's a very short distance, and on their way, some gunmen adopted them, and now the police command in Benue State have now confirmed that yes, some persons were adopted. So the issue of adoption or kidnapping, as it were, in the country still
ongoing.
Still ongoing, and particularly in Kogi and Benue states this time.
Especially the Middle Belt.
Yes,
the Middle Belt in general. And you see, the worrying factor there is the neighboring villages. How did these guys get to cut away with these things? Like you rightly said, the kidnap took place in between two neighboring villages. And I keep wondering, where are the security agencies? What happens to the vigilantes? Looking at the proximity between where they took off and where they were expected to arrive, and then where the kidnap took place. One begin to, ask some questions. What's going on? What's happening? Like somebody said sarcastically yesterday, I saw it online. He said that why would they say that the e-transmission will not be possible, whereas the bandits will transmit videos in real time, right from the forest. And even though it was laughable, it was something that we laughed at. But somehow, if you look at it, you know that it calls for concern. It calls for serious concern.
It calls for concern. Okay, and finally, on the Daily Trust, before we go to our next paper, yes, if you are a farmer, NIMET is saying that it's predicting early rainfall and urges delay in farming. NIMET predicts early rainfall, urges delay in farming. So, early rainfall, but hold on, no, don't start yet.
That is the bet.
All right, so those are some of the stories we are following on the Daily Trust this morning. So let's go to our next paper this morning, and we have the blueprint. Electoral bill, Senate bows, okays e-transmission of results, manual backup. Still the same issue we'll be looking at.
The backup is the problem, OJ.
The backup, the manual backup, right?
Yes, the manual backup. We don't really understand that backup.
Okay, all right. So we continue with some of the headlines there. Tinubu at neck. We will ensure our policy felt by Nigerians. Tinubu at neck. We will ensure our policy felt by Nigerians. And other stories we are following on the blueprint this morning. EFCC Doc 2 for 600 million naira NNPC job fraud. Chidi, 600 million naira job fraud. Why are people succumbing to job fraud in Nigeria easily? What could be the issue?
Well, OJ, that is where we find ourselves today, because you see, government job, as it were, has become something that everybody sees it as a place where you take your national cake.
Very lucrative.
Very lucrative, because some people cheat. Well, the government, we're doing government job, because sometimes I know of ghost workers, those who don't come to work. So people see it as a means of support, financial support for them. While they are doing government job, they have time to do other things. And that is why you see people scramble for such opportunities, so that because it avails you the opportunity to, like I said, to be flexible, to have more time to do other things. I know when you go within your neighborhood, you see a lot of civil servants not going to work. And that is why now it has graduated to the fact that where you need to pay money to get jobs, not just in NNPC.
So why would two people scam individuals
that is where
to the tune of 600 million?
I said that is where we have found ourselves. It's so laughable that to get employment now, you need to pay. I have a friend who paid, let me say the word, allegedly, I won't want to call his name, to get a job, and he paid 3 million naira to
3
secure a
million.
job from Central Bank. He waited and waited and waited, and the job never came, and that was how the guy relocated back to Enugu. 3 million to get a job in CBN. And I don't know if that money was refunded to him.
And institutions like the CBN, like you said, NMPC, and some
Everywhere.
other governments,
Everywhere.
juicy parastatals, where all these scammers,
they're not really
all
scammers.
suspecting,
they are not really scammers per se. They are not. They work there. Some of them are PAs, some of them are SAs to the director, to this, to that, to one big man or to one highly placed, personality in that organization. And it will interest you, with due respect, that some of them are even women.
Wow.
Yes. I don't want to double deep into these things. But,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the gender.
It doesn't matter.
Whoever can scam whoever. Now.
Yeah, but you see, sometimes this is in this part of the world, it's surprising to see a woman do certain things. You understand? Yes, that's the truth. So I have seen situations where I have friends that have been scammed. They pay money, and it is still
still ongoing.
It's a long-time practice. It's as old as over 10 years now.
So the EFCC has a lot of job to be. A lot of job to do, and for these two people, we hope that the EFCC will
so that others will learn.
Yes, the EFCC will succeed in convicting them at the end of the day. So that's some of the stories coming from the blueprint, and our next paper, of course, is the Punch newspaper. Opposition protest as senators back manual results transmission. Still talking about the Electoral Act amendment. So opposition protest as senators back manual results transmission. So that is not really surprising. And some of the writers concerning the story, we have Atiku, Amechi, Rufai, chilled lawmakers, Senate OK's electronic manual result transmission, and of course, the upper chambers appoints 12-member panel to harmonize bill with reps. So all these you find in this story: opposition protest as senators back manual results transmission. All right, I will still have this story coming from the Punch. US deploys 200 troops to Nigeria. So it is now official that the United States of America and Nigeria now have a military pact. So we'll have boots on the ground right now. US forces will be in Nigeria for whatever reason, as we speak.
Well, OJ, I hope that will yield some very good results for us, because it's timely, actually, considering the fact that after the bomb blast that happened in Sokoto, that was on 25th of December 2025.
Yes.
We were hoping that after that bomb blast there would be some level of calm. But it seems to me that the reprisal attack grew up, geometrically.
But not in Sokoto.
Not in Sokoto.
Yes. Where that's
Yes. When I say geometrically, not in Sokoto, I agree with you. But in other parts of the country, especially the Middle Belt, I was thinking that after that bomb blast, that, like I said, everywhere will be calm. But OJ, since then we've been seeing all kinds of kidnaps with 300, 107 something killed in War Road. Now adopted yesterday again. It's now becoming a daily, if not every 2-3 days occurrence. And by this now, I think bringing the American Marines or the American boots, soldiers.
The soldiers on the ground.
I want to believe that in addition with the Nigerian army, understands the terrain very well, because you need to also understand the terrain very well too, to succeed when it comes to military activities. And I want to believe that when you add both of them, I want to be very hopeful that very soon we'll be having some calm and peace in our country.
All right, so we continue with the Punch very quickly, because we have some other interesting stories there. Wike Fubara called truce after Tinubu's move. All right, and Nigeria sleeps on global corruption index. We looked at that yesterday, and yes, Nigeria is still one of the most corrupt nations in the world, but still maintaining the position they maintained in 2024.
What was that? What's that position?
The position is 140 sixth in the world. So we are not really.
We're not that bad.
No, we are bad. The more you occupy the position, the more corrupt you are. That's how it is done by Transparency International. So that's the situation. So states spent 455 billion naira to service foreign loans. States spend 455 billion naira to service foreign loans. Wow.
OJ.
The more they get money, the more they service loans.
Now that is at the state level now.
Yes.
Whenever we go into the federal level, where we have allegedly over 200 something trillion naira deficit or owing. And sometimes I begin to wonder when are we going to stop paying these debts? In fact, there's a state, I wouldn't want to call the name of that state, that I overheard allegedly that it will take another 45 years for the state to finish paying the debt they're owing. And you know what that 45 years is? That is a child that is born today, will grow up and likely be the governor of that state, and is still paying that debt. Now, 400 something billion, that is on paper, reported on paper. We just hope that this whole loan will stop, because Nigeria is a blessed country. There is virtually no state in Nigeria that does not have one mineral resources or the other to showcase, ranging from the south to the north central, just name it. I don't see any reason why we should be holding this kind of amount at the state level. And we keep servicing debt. And the painful part of it is that we are not, some of this debt, this money we borrow, does not translate to what we call physical development. We don't see good schools. We don't see rural electrification. We don't even see healthcare centers. You know, all we see is governors coming to give school children school bags. I know, in fact, there's a senator sometimes ago that we saw a video where he commissioned what we call the electric pole wire, and was giving, some governors were giving them wheelbarrows and the rest of them. And I'm asking, is that what the loans are meant for? You know, these loans we don't have a problem when we borrow and then we can see what we are borrowing for. You go to the states, you go to the local government, you hardly see development. Some states and local government have nothing to show for this loan. So I wonder what we are borrowing for. I wonder what we are borrowing for, OJ. I really wonder what we are borrowing for.
All right. Now let's move on at our next paper this morning, and we have the Guardian. Yes, the Guardian has this headline: INEC under spotlight as Senate shifts ground on e-transmission. INEC under spotlight as Senate shifts ground on e-transmission. Okay, and Russia denies reports of Nigerian mercenaries killed in Ukraine war. Russia denies reports of Nigerian mercenaries killed in Ukraine war. Chidi, this is an issue,
big one.
We're having some people recruiting or suspecting Africans who now go to Russia. They'll be lured to Russia, and at the end of the day, they'll be conscripted into the Russian army to fight for the Russian, republic against Ukraine. This has been an issue. We have incidents in Kenya. We have incidents in South Africa, and now, was it a fortnight ago, 2 weeks ago or so? It was reported that a Nigerian, who went there to fight for Russia was, killed as a result and all that. So now, but now Russia is denying this fact. But the fact remains that we have Africans as mercenaries fighting for Russia. So what do you make of this?
Well, OJ, I want to see this as human trafficking in disguise. In disguise, in the sense that you see, it's normal to deny. It's okay. It's part of those things we were used to, allegedly. But you see, a video came up, was it 4 days ago, that we saw, was it one Francis or one African like that, with a dynamite on his stomach, and he was crying for help, and he made a video, and that video, trended everywhere, where he was carrying a bomb, dynamite on his stomach, and he was saying how a lot of Africans have lost their lives, and talking about luring them into fighting for Russia. Some of them have been promised juicy allowances.
And for them to become citizens at the end of the war.
At the end of the war,
they make it
juicy packages.
Yes.
And unfortunately, getting there, they don't even see the Jews, how much more they package. You know, and this is very, very, it calls for national concern. And I don't know what the African leaders are doing. I don't know what they're doing about this, because it's becoming very worrisome as we speak. Africans are dying. I don't know why we should be recruited when it comes to war. But if there is no war, you go to the embassy to seek for visas. They'll begin to subject you to all kinds of draconian exercise just to give you visa to visit another man's country. What we call the Japa syndrome.
Yes.
But now there is war. People are being given visas freely to come
and fight.
And
fight for a cause you don't even know much about.
The genesis, you don't know how it began.
All right, so let's go to our next paper if we do have one. So that's some of the stories you get from the Guardian this morning. And let's quickly go to our next paper for us to quickly review. And we have the Tribune. The Tribune also carries the issue of the Electoral Act. Senate okays e-transmission of election results, manual backup. Yes, Senate okays e-transmission of election results and manual backup. And Fubara inspects Port Harcourt's Ring Road, targets October completion. And this is a story of development. At least this is to ease the situation.
That shows that Fubara has started work properly in earnest in River State. And you see something, the paper carried it about the reconciliation between Fubara and Wike. And it's held at the presidential villa. What we call the closed door meeting.
Yes.
We don't have the full content of the discussion, but I saw the Minister of FCT, Ezenwo Wike, aka Mr. Project, while he was inspecting the Gwarimpa and the Lifecam Express. He was smiling, smiles all over his faces. 2 weeks ago or so, I can't remember clearly, it was the president declared him as the number one, political guru in River State, even when we have a sitting governor. And yesterday, they had a meeting and there was some form of reconciliation. But we don't know if the reconciliation truly will bring the desired peace we seek in River State.
And that is exactly what we really expect from them. We need peace.
We are hopeful.
All over in the national and federal level, all we are asking for is a peace. Okay, and of course, we just have to, before we go on break, let's also bring you some other stories on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The NRS gets 40.71 trillion naira revenue target for 2026. Atiku Makinde meets with IBB in Mina. So that's to tell you that the political season is just around the corner.
It's becoming a ritual.
Yes. Okay. And of course, the Tribune is also carrying the story from Kogi and Benue. Gunmen adopt 24 passengers in Kogi, Benue. And that's COAS deploys special forces in Plateau. It's one of the riders there coming from the Tribune. And of course, we'll be going on a quick break. When we return, we'll look at more right here on the P&B Morning Show, reaching you live from the nation's capital. We'll be right back in a jiffy. All right, welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. And of course, my name is Omike Joseph Matthew, and Chidi Kenneth is here with me this morning. Chidi Kenneth, I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Well, welcome viewers once again to P&B Morning Show.
Okay.
And, it's nice having you.
All right. Only yesterday we had the former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, joining the protests, the so-called Occupy the National Assembly protest by opposition figures. And one major thing that was observed yesterday, like you mentioned earlier this morning, was that he was there with his son. We've never had a situation where a politician will go to a protest with his son, considering the risk in case something happens. So that means that a father and a son might be hurt or something like that. And journalists now observed that and say, why did you come with your son? Only for Rotimi Amechi to say, no, first thing first, he is a medical doctor. And one of the reasons is that I brought him because in case the demonstration turns violence
and people sustain injury.
No, in case the demonstration turns violence,
yes,
and he sustains injury or anything happens to him, his son will be there to resuscitate him first as the first as the first respondent
and the first aid recipient.
Okay, before anything, and then in case anything happens to anybody, you understand, and all that. So that's a really interesting.
Yes,
interesting thing in our politics.
Very, very interesting,
yes.
And commendable as well.
Okay.
Commendable in the sense that we are used to elites not even coming for protest.
So they only watch from afar.
Yes, and when they come for this time around, not just an elite coming to the protest or coming to the protest ground, he came with his son, who is a medical doctor. And that shows that he's not just concerned, but his family is also concerned. And that was commendable. I want to commend Rotimi Amechi for doing that. And I hope other personalities too, or politicians will do such, because we are used to the fact that politicians allegedly hire thugs, send other people's children to protest ground, and they pay them 10,000, 5,000, give them placards to carry, and they go and shout something like where I grew up in the north. You see a lot of people shout, "Buy my soul, buy my soul." Then they carry, meaning I no agree, I no agree, we no go agree, we no go agree, and sometimes they get shot by either tear gas. They smoke them with tear gas. Some of them try to scamper for their life. In the process, they fall into a ditch, sustain serious injuries, and all whatnot. But this time around, here we are seeing a former governor, former Minister of Transportation,
a prominent politician,
an aspirant, a chieftain with his son. And I want to advise, and I know, and also want to reach out to other top politicians. Let them come out. And I hope it's not when let me also add this. I hope it's not when the table is not favoring you, you will do that. But whether it is favoring you or not. Like I saw Senator Abaribe yesterday trying to move a motion that the Senate should vote the e-transmission saga, put it into vote. And at some point, I think he withdrew one of the statements he made. So I want to encourage other senators, governors, even serving governors, let them come out. Serving minister, not when you are not serving.
There are a lot of issues to protest about in Nigeria.
Yes.
A lot of issues, not just
protest should not be restricted
about
to only
the election.
Yes,
there are a lot of issues.
You should not be restricted to non-serving politicians. Both serving. I want us to start seeing governors, serving governors, sitting ministers.
Protesting for a cause.
Protesting for a cause they believe in. That way, I would believe you are very, very patriotic. But be it as it may, we also want to thank Amechi. At least is the right step in the right direction. At least we are starting somewhere. It shows that our Nigerian democracy is growing, where we see a former minister and his son coming out. I hope to see the likes of Rufai and the likes of David Mack and their sons and daughters coming out to also join in the protest. I think that's commendable.
And talking about Rufai, he has come out to say that he would have loved
to be there,
if not because he actually traveled out of the country. He made a comment yesterday that we would love to be part of.
When he comes back, well, Rufai, in case you are hearing us, I will appeal to you to also come with your son, and let's see. By the time all the whole, big time politicians, big players begin to come with their children, and the children of the poor will have some confidence that, wow, if so person can be there, then I should be there.
But talking about protest, we've had politicians, prominent activists, as it were, even the current president during the Goodluck Jonathan time. You recall that fuel price hike during the Jonathan era. Yeah. They all came out. To protest then. They were in the opposition. Yeah. The likes of Dino Milai and what have you came out to protest at that time. So we've had politicians coming out to protest.
But not with their son.
But not with their son or children. So
Rotimi Amaechi has made history to be the first prominent politician to come out with his son. I think I read that online yesterday. He's the first prominent politician to come and appear in a protest ground with his son.
With his son. So, and that is why it is a huge story that the media is focusing on. And let's quickly look at our oil sector, where of course Dangote and the oil marketers appear to be at war. This time the war is on how much do we sell the pump price of fuel. And it appears that Dangote refinery has cut down the price, the prices of the pump. The pump price of fuel following pressure from marketers. Recall that 2 days ago, the oil marketers said imported fuel is cheaper than that of Dangote, and that in the coming days that they will be cutting the current pump price. And Dangote has just done his own last night. So is this good for the masses that we're having a situation where Dangote refinery will of course be at loggerhead with the oil marketers when it comes to,
OJ,
to buying of fuel from our
This is the beauty of what we call the market forces. It is the beauty in the sense that when we have different competitors, trying to scramble for the confidence of the buyers, and that's what brings in economics. That's what brings down inflation. Because I can say inflation is when too much money is pursuing limited goods.
Yes,
the goods tends to rise. Because there's too much money pursuing limited goods, availability of goods. But this time around, the market forces, the war between the market forces is beginning to, reflect in the prices, and that's good for us as buyers because OJ coming to this place this morning, going back home, I know what it will cost me to put fuel in my car to go home and to return back every day.
Yes.
So I want to see a situation whereby it will begin to the fuel price will continue to crash and crash. After all, a few years down the line, we're buying it 195 naira. And when a policy statement was made, subsidy is gone. We started seeing some form of price somersaults.
Yes.
The fuel or in the oil industry. So my prayer is that Dangote should keep bringing it down. The market, the importers also, they should keep engaging themselves, and let's see that this fuel price, because fuel price is key in Nigeria.
Yes.
It reflects down to our transportation of farm produce from the farm to markets. In fact, each time the fuel price increases, as bad as salt, the price will increase. Salt, as cheap as salt is in the market, it will increase, OJ. So fuel is key when it comes to even pricing of goods and services in Nigeria. Transportation will increase. Where you used to go to 200 naira before you start going for, you now pay 400 naira to transport yourself. So I want to see more of this kind of, interface between, manufacturers or what they call them marketers or whatever. I want to see it so that it's the beauty of business. That is the beauty. Because at some point, when we had MTN, or what do I call it? Yes. There was some point
in the telecom, sector.
Telecom sector.
Then,
and we discovered, they said that there's no way they can do per second billing.
But when a particular player came,
you
can see
in fact, at some point we were buying SIM card in packs.
Yes.
It was like you are going to buy something, an Ecolag box.
Yes, but now it's just you just branch to a vendor on the street.
When you buy a SIM card, then OJ, it's as though you have achieved something in your life.
I remember I bought my first SIM card 20,000 naira.
OJ, you mean you bought 20,000?
Yes.
Yours was even cheap.
20,000 naira.
Some of us bought 30-something thousand naira. And then we celebrate it. It was even more expensive than the phone.
Yes, of course. I remember that. But today is
well, even the man on the street that sells pineapple and orange
can afford the SIM card.
Not even going to go to any serious office.
Sometimes it's almost cheap now. SIM card is almost free, I should say. All right, so that's the beauty of competition.
Yes.
Okay. When you have competitors in a particular sector, it is the citizens that will surely enjoy the benefits of whatever that will be happening in that sector. So in the oil sector, Dangote and the oil marketers are slugging it out when it comes to, yes, I'm going to sell or we are going to sell our product cheap and all that. So now that
they should keep selling it cheap, please.
Keep selling it cheap, and yes. Nigerians want to see a day when, of course, the pump price will be as low as 500 naira.
No, OJ, I beg to differ. 500 naira is not low.
No,
we're talking about 200, 150.
Okay, well, we just hope that
we have
will
these
happen.
Things here.
But now it's 700 and something this morning. So let's say how it goes in the coming weeks and months as the war price continues. Now let's quickly talk about politicians and their children again. But in this case, we're talking about loyalty. Now, recently, the son of the former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, committed to the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, the APC. That's the son of Atiku Abubakar. Now, we are receiving reports of Honorable Muhammad Bello El-Rufai, who, of course, is the son of the former governor of Kaduna State, saying that he is loyal to President Bola Tinubu. And the father came out just yesterday or so, the story is everywhere, that he is not a friend of the president. But here is the son saying that, look, he's loyal to the president. So can we quickly, touch on the issue of politicians and their children who are not, who are not in synergy politically. So is it that is it the freedom of choice? Is it the freedom of choice, or what is really going on? Where politicians' children are saying, "Hey, look, I must, father, I know you are my father, but I must not follow you."
It is first of all their constitutional rights.
Okay,
as enshrined in the Constitution, that you have freedom of association. It's in the Constitution. So as the children have the right to choose wherever they are. After all, they are adults. The last time I checked, none of them is less than 18 years old. So it is their constitutional right. That is one. Two, secondly, the fathers, some fathers don't really have control over their children. Because, there's a particular way a child is expected to be raised. And when you don't do that, at some point, when the child gains some form of mental and psychological freedom, that child tends to, toe his own line in life. And that's what's happening now. However, I also want to say that there's a political angle to that. These things can be a way of media distractions, trying to create an impression that, to occupy people, like both of us, people are talking about it. In the real sense of it, at home, they might be politically united. Because this is all sometimes can be politics too.
This must be a political conspiracy from you.
Well, I want to say that sometimes it's not all the wars you see in the front of the newspaper pages that is real. You saw a video yesterday where the Tambuwa and Kanduji were laughing, and at some point Tambuwa refused to sit on his chair where the APC flag is behind him. and Ganduje, they were speaking in Hausa, and they were laughing. These men meet. They meet in nightclubs, they meet in their private places, and they gist, they laugh. Why the poor, they're out there fighting themselves. So sometimes it's not all what you see on the media, front pages that is really happening backstage. So I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm saying that sometimes the more you see, the less you understand. And that's one of the things you see in politics too. So joining different political parties and sharing different views from father and son may not really be what it is backstage. However, it is their constitutional right.
It is their constitutional right.
Yes.
It is their choice to choose which platform or which way to go politically, and not really following their father's ideology.
Yes.
All right. And well, I think I will agree. I will agree with you to a large extent. It does not really matter that because my father is in party A that I must follow him in that party, because I must also build my own, my own empire.
Yes.
As a son, it's always good for you to build your own empire as a son.
But
there are those who see this as a kind of betrayal. You have to follow your father's step.
Footstep of your father.
Yes.
What if the steps are not clear?
No,
are not something you can emulate. LJ, talking about your father's steps, some of us sometimes, if we were to follow our father's steps, we will not be where we are today. Because I read a book that has to do with how fathers and how parents and try to manipulate the interest and concerns of children. Some our parents steal their children's destiny by saying, "Oh, my son must be a lawyer, my son must be a doctor," and at the end of the day, that child is not born to be a doctor. We have a musician in this country today that read law. The father is a prominent lawyer. But today he's doing well in music. The same goes to the late Fela that was sent to UK to do medicine. And you can imagine if a Fela in the theater, a lot of people would die. A lot of people would die.
All right. So that's the situation with, of course, politicians and their children who are taking different paths politically in the country. It's a new development. A lot of new developments are actually happening in our polity, and it calls for a lot of interest from us right here. And yes, so before we go on break, we'll surely dive into the world of sports briefly. Okay, let's dive into the world of sports briefly for those who are sports lovers. Yesterday,
I forgot that it's a natural.
Okay, so for those who love football, some matches went down in the English Premier League yesterday, and yes, Chelsea disappointed their fans last night because their fans were actually expecting them to win, but to win against Leeds, but it ended 2-2. Everton lost at home to Bournemouth by 2-1, and Newcastle United, of course, defeated Tottenham by 2-1. And for Manchester United, the roller coaster continues. Yesterday went away and drew 1-1.
4 straight wins now.
Yeah, no, they drew yesterday with West Ham, away with West Ham. So that's a good result there for Manchester United. So on this show, we're bringing you everything that you need, whether it is politics, sports, entertainment, what have you. We'll bring all that to you. So we'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about issues that we'll be addressing this one. We'll be talking about the issue of the electoral bill and, of course, the forthcoming AMAC elections. Do stay with us. This is the P&B Morning Show, reaching you live from Abuja. All right, so welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. I still remain your host, Omike Joseph Matthew, and of course, Chidi Kenneth. It's here with me in the studio. All right, it's about time now to get into the issue of the day. And the issue of the day, of course, is the issue of the Electoral Act and the controversy surrounding it. So, is it a win for voters or a cause for concern? Talking about the approval by the Senate yesterday. So, the Senate has approved the electronic transmission of election results to the Independent National Electoral Commission's result viewing portal, while permitting manual coalition to serve as a backup where technology fails. That is, the decision follows a reconsideration of a disputed clause in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill during an emergency plenary yesterday. However, the upper chamber stopped short of making electronic transmission compulsory and also rejected the provision for real-time upload of results. Now, under the reviewed section, presiding officers at polling units are to electronically transmit results to the RF portal after voting and documentation are completed. The amendment, however, provides that where electronic transmission cannot be carried out due to communication or network challenges, the manual result sheet form, that's EC8A, will become the primary basis for coalition and declaration. So while putting the motion to a voice vote, Senate President Godswill Akpabio urged senators who disagreed with the amendment to formally challenge it. And this is what we'll be dwelling our searchlight on for this moment. And I have two guests in the studio to talk about this very important, topic as it affects us as citizens of this country. I have Yanda Emmanuel, a political commentator, here with me this morning, and also a candidate of the ADC in the forthcoming AMAC election coming up this year, in person of Dr. Paul. Dr. Moses Paul is here with us this morning to talk about this issue. So, gentlemen, you're welcome to the P&B Morning Show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, all right. Thank you very, very much. And who do I start with? Let me start with the politician. We'll talk about AMAC in a jiffy, but let's talk about this Electoral Act, because this is something that will surely, affect you very, very soon. So, how do you see it? Is it okay by you? Is it not okay by you? All the brouhaha concerning the Electoral Act in the past 1 week, how did you take it as a politician?
Even from your opening statements, it reveals a lot about us as a people. It doesn't just affect me, it affects everything that concerns our life. The ability or the what gives authorization to our life, whether in terms of birth certificate, to schools, to worship centers, to everything that has to do with our life, to businesses, is government and governance. And issues of governance, leadership, nation building means nothing without politics. And what affects politics has to do with elections, electoral laws. So these are the basis of our lives. And maybe somebody would think it's just about politicians. It's about your unborn children. It's about everything to do with the existence of our life. The day Nigerians, Africans begin to pay attention to this, then we can find a headway. I have been given an opportunity. For me, as young as I am, I've been to at least 20 countries around the world. And I've been in places comparable to AMAC, for example, across the world. AMAC is comparable to DC, to New York, to Paris, and yet here we are in the center of gravity, thinking that these issues only has to do with politicians. But this is the crux of the matter. It should be something that you would have, expected the whole of the country, or at least the whole of the FCT people. This is where, like they say, the tire meets the road. Should anything go amiss with this, our life is in jeopardy. We live at a time where bandits and kidnappers are making transfers without interference. We live at a time where I send money to you. I was called to come to this studio. Network did not stop it. But yet, when it comes to the issues that is pertinent to our life, that has everything to do with our life, that's basis that give essence to everything that concerns our life, to our businesses, to everything. I'm saying that for you to own a hospital, for you to have a worship center, for you to own business, it is government that gives you the license to be able to do that. And yet, that thing that allows us to be able to have quality leaders, some people are here messing up with it and saying that if there is interference, they are making room for a window for impunity, for criminality, to allow them to continue to perpetuate evil in this country. It's something that we should not look at. It's not even a joke. It's not even something to make a joke or something out of.
Yanda Emmanuel.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Chairman to be has spoken. And I want to say the congratulations to democracy. What really happened is victory for democracy. Democracy is older than any politician in the corridor of power, be citizens, elected, appointees, or any position anyone assume the political corridor. Advocacy, accountability, inclusivity. Citizens took to the street and said, no, look, we're in the 21st century. Make a revise. Take advantage of technology. We are not in the primitive era. We're not going back to the dark. Like Honorable here mentioned, you go to online, you watch some horrible, tragic video, how they're slaughtering innocent Nigerians across locations. You go to video from villages across the state, doing content, creating content, connecting the world, unifying the world, taking the advantage of the media space with the media technology convergence. And this is easy for the people. Now, what really happened now? The National Assembly, they are humans. On their part, they are in a haste to say no, they are not transmitting. Because I believe in National Assembly, down to their various homes, they have what we call CCTV camera. So now, why do they put that CCTV camera?
That's another one there.
They live with it. They get the best in the car, in the office, at home.
On their phones.
On their phones. Why do you think these sensitive materials? Because you are human. You have limitations. You want to monitor. You want to be secure. You want transparent transaction. That whatever you could not dictate, the technology will help you to dictate. Why do we embrace AI? Leaders go to United Nations meeting at Rio de Janeiro, time without number, from 2015 when the leaders emerged. They talk about developmental strides that will develop and developing countries. Nobody advocate for primitivism. Nobody say take people back to the olden days. No. So I think it was a mistake on the part of the National Assembly. And thank God, the intelligent, committed, hardworking, resilient Nigerian has voted and said, look, you are our leaders. We voted you there. This is where we are. Please let us, democracy respect majority. And today, I can say congratulations to every household. Congratulations to democracy. Those who were opposing the transmission of electoral results, to me, they were democratically ignorant, not taking advantage of the time and space. And number two, they're in the minority. But now that majority have won, it is done on us to maintain the sanctity of e-transmission. But however, I will say all of this. Technologies are controlled by man. Man-made technology and the same technology controlled by man. We know what happened during ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. There will be no later Carrier succeeded. The bill was passed, endorsed, and they go ahead. But what happened? 2023 general election. The same hour you have voting of the National Assembly and the president going on simultaneously. What was the report we got from ANEC? Technical glitch.
Until today, there is no explanation.
From court A to B to court C. That matter like follow. Technical glitch. After all the amendment, the protest, the revisal, the endorsement, we bounce back to technical glitch.
All right.
So let's pick a point of reference to this angle. Technology is made by man, controlled by man. So we, the citizens, the Democrats, the people of Nigeria, we are the one to make Nigeria. If one Nigeria technology will work.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oji. Okay. Thank you very much, distinguished guests, Dr. Mo, and my brother here. All right. Like I said yesterday, I want to repeat something. I said the idea of before we go into question. There's a narrative I gave yesterday, and I want to repeat it this morning. That the idea or the concept behind the Electoral Act started in 1922 by the Clifford Constitution. And in 1959, we had the first election that brought in regional leaders, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe and, Awolowo and the rest of them. And from 1959 to date, in every 20 years, Nigeria has really evolved as a country. The first one was 1979, August 1st. That brought in the likes of, Shehu Shagari, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. And 20 years after 1979, in 1999, we had Olusegun Obasanjo. And then, 2022, the late President Muhammadu Buhari brought the Electoral Act and reformed it. And today, after 104 years, somebody's trying to take us back. So if what the Senate is trying to do succeeds, according to some Nigerians, what that means that we are going back 104 years backward.
No, well, the Senate has the electoral,
but there's a but, right? But there's a but.
Yeah, there's a but on it. But,
the but is what is the concern now.
Okay, now let me ask, Dr. Moses. Let's be factual to ourselves as citizens. Not all look and cranny of this country that we can 100% say it's connected. So don't you think that at least connect in terms of telecommunication, right? There are communities that are without coverage and all that. So don't you think that with this passage of the Electoral Act now, don't you think that it is an inclusivity of such communities at the end of the day, that all the people who are crying, saying, no, this is that it could be a loophole like you suggested earlier, and may just be, saying something that is not really, something you are supposed to cry about. Let's be.
Nigeria is a very good place. Let me not, but we are very dangerous human beings. It's a very smart. It's only in Nigeria that for you, keeping it for you. Don't worry.
As though your hands are paining you.
No. Thank you. Just like I know your hands are paining you, I'll keep it for you.
And the monkey and snake.
It's only in Nigeria that monkey and snakes were swallowing money. I mean, it's the same house that summoned all the FCT chairmen over 100 billion in a place where children are sitting on the floor. 40 years later, after I went to primary school here, children are sitting on the floor. I'm actually in cheers to Kapua. Kapua is in Lugbe here. I went there. Children are sitting on the floor. So, but what is the point of this? And this is really serious. It's not something we they say there's one winch that used to catch people that enter power. I don't, because the more you look at it, the more it's something that you cannot explain.
Maybe.
But let me say
this time next year we'll bring you.
I will come back here because obviously because and I'm happy about this. Yeah, because I'm happy about this because me, I'm tired, honestly. Now look at this so that we can put this context rightly.
Yes.
When laws are made, whether in terms of even spiritual laws, Quran and Bible, we go to school. When you read policies, the understanding of big ideas is done knowing that you are not there yet. Everywhere in the world, that's what society does. They put up stuff that allows us as a people to walk towards. I don't know if you get what this is the basis of life. You create policies that you work towards.
Yes.
So they should not at any point in time, there should not be a clause or a reversal to primordial. In fact, if there is anything, we should even be asking that AI, that diasporans should be participating in our elections. That's the level. So you put a law that you put a policy that you work towards. So what happens if National Assembly today signs that bill into law? Guess what? Every local government chairman, every minister, every governor, the president will ensure that before election, our own follow come. Everywhere you travel to, there are places where you have free internet. All over the world, apart from the payment system. You create things that allows people. But so sometimes when we talk, every time I come back to Nigeria, when I travel, it takes me 2 weeks to adjust. Because it's like, when I travel, I used to take picture of different places in California. From the air, I would be taking pictures. When you are crossing the West African coast and you look at the geography, because I have a PhD in environmental resource planning. Even if you are God in heaven, you want to land here from the things you see from the sky.
My wife experienced such when she went to Dubai.
This is the danger. Can you imagine the kind of conversation we're having?
When she landed at the International International Airport, my wife said the first thing she saw was spill of red oil on the floor.
So the point I'm making, exactly. So are we truly having this kind of conversation?
So in essence, what you are saying, Dr. Moses, is that okay, now that there is this caveat of the manual,
that caveat is criminal, it is barbaric, it is reprehensible, it is a suppression of the people's will. It should not, no right thinking human being should put it, because like I said, you create policies, you create laws, you create things that you work towards, not give room to go back to redundancy and primordial tendencies and corruption.
4 years.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yanda Emmanuel, is that what you think?
Well,
Taking us back, does this law now take us back, back to
1922?
well,
1920, even though the law still embrace technology?
well, the law, to me, I think if it's not taking us back, but then it is a show of our ignorance, show of our weakness, show of our unwillingness and unreadiness to making democracy work. US, countries of the world that practice democracy, the democracy does not operate by angels. It's not operated by saints. So it is a show of, and I heard you saying that there are villages in Nigeria that technologies are not working. There's no network, telecom network. Yes. Who are we leaders? Are they not supposed to be ashamed of? At this 21st century, you come on air at the National Assembly and tell the whole world that there's no network in some villages. Who does that?
That is the market in the country.
The market in the country.
Exactly. Shaming the country.
Globally. Whatever transmit in that National Assembly is going worldwide. Whatever meeting they do, there's going not just Nigeria, beyond Nigeria.
They are saying we're monkeys. We don't have.
With the task going on, subsidy removal, and I want to say, we in Nigeria, including myself, we are ready to contribute money to make before the election to make telecom network available. To ease, we don't need to struggle. This is not time for manual, for anything. This is technological age.
So you are rejecting the manual totally? Is that
I
what you're
can't. No, I'm not reading that manual totally because somebody need to pick up the telephone, pick up the bag. There's a
saying? The
backup.
manual addition by the same.
No, it's not rolled out. It's not rolled out because we are a developing country. I don't rule that out. But then, whatever we are doing, whatever happened to Mr. H will happen to Mr. B. Whether the technological application and the manual should not be carrying different records. You should not have maybe on the manual it's telling you 90. The technology device is telling you 100. So it should go in line. No problem with that. But then, if we have no telecom structure, network, infrastructure, at this time, 21st century, democracy is what it is now. What is our democracy? So we should ask ourselves.
Okay.
Are we moving? Are we clearing? So it's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment on our national image for any leader to open oil producing giant of Africa.
After 26 or so many years now of democracy.
We are coming on air to say there is no infrastructure. It's an admission of data failure. Open admission of data failure.
Okay, Dr. Moses, you and I will agree that even in other developed democracies, elections are not transmitted in real time 100%. I think the only country who have such success is Estonia. Not even the United States of America that you are aware of, that you know. So why is our own different that some of you are calling for like 100% of transmission of results in real time?
Yeah, because for all of the countries, US, everywhere, you can actually say it's 100% because once it's beyond 50, you can say it's 100%.
Yeah.
For all the countries you're talking about.
Beyond average.
It's beyond average. So it's 100%. Why is it that in our own case, is that 1% that becomes the elephant on the table? Why? You see, is that criminal thinking? Is that manipulative tendency? Which 1% of Nigerians allowed the people to continue to do? It's having this discussion is almost, I don't know how to put it, because you have while the world is progressing, just like my brother said, this is the age of AI. This is where we are. And some people are discussing things that would exclude, the same basis for why we are here. In the time, which village, tell me which village in Nigeria that they are not kidnapping and they are not transmitting videos and they are not transmitting.
Almost all of the villages.
Kidnappers are receiving alert. And you are here telling us that we should
right
not
inside the thick forest.
So and I'm happy that Nigerians are listening. At least I'm happy that some people are coming out. I would have wished that the whole of the people will come out. But you see, like my opening statement, people do not know that this thing that looks small is actually the basis of everything. This is the reason why we have bad leaders. This is the reason why the country is not working. This is the reason why schools are not working. This is the reason why people are dying for lack of hospital. This is the basis for everything, because everything rises and falls on leadership. And anything that affects credible elections that would not allow the will of the people to take center stage is an enemy of state. So anybody pushing for anything other than having a smooth transition of result is actually an enemy of state. Whether you are the president, whether you are National Assembly, regardless of who you are the enemy of Nigeria. And Nigeria should see their enemies. So that when the thunder want to fire, it will not come to me, it will come to Mr. Chidi, to go to the person.
Dr. Mo, I think at this juncture, I would like to direct the thunder to the desired location. The thunder will
No, I don't.
Gentlemen, as we try to wrap up this discussion, let's quickly wrap it up with this question. Iyanda, as a social commentator, as an activist, just like Dr. Moses, how might this amendment impact voter confidence ahead of the 2027 elections?
Well, Nigerians' experience on the electoral process has not changed. And why you see this controversy, agitation, argument is that we have lived with elongated history of manipulated election. Deeping, it has not changed. It's worsening.
So we're used to it.
So it's a culture. It's a pattern. It has been living with us. Electoral uncertainty. Even people are telling you what is going to happen in 2027 now. A common man walking on the street is beginning to anticipate.
You know where you go in.
They have already written the results. They have declared. I've heard so many things from ordinary Nigerians, but I think those of us who are on the corridor, shaping democracy, contributing our quota, should do our best to educate the weak, the uninformed. Because if people are not informed, they are deformed. OJ, my brother says something. My brother here says something about a leader leading millions of Nigeria into destruction. Democracy now is like you have a very big bus containing people, passengers, and have a bad driver or a driver who is a drunkard. Then the life of those passengers in that vehicle is not going to be safe. Riding on a very bad road, that is our case. So, with this deepened history of repeated manipulated election, from where Togri, the court, maybe INEC in some cases, court, or the rigger become the winner, the best rigger, the highest bidder, dictate or determine what happened. Election results are announced at night, midnight, when people are sleeping.
It's 3 a.m.
Snatching of ballot boxes under the supervision of security agencies. So this, by the time you compile this culture, this unhealthy democratic culture, they abuse together, compounded, we have not really changed as a people, as a nation. We are still living with this culture. Do you know people rehearse, people train how to rig election?
More than voting.
People are empowered. Yes, more than voting. Because at a point, I felt people don't even know that the glory of democracy is governance. That the glory of politics is governance. Now, by the time you collect the peanut, you do religious sympathy, tribal sympathy, or whatever sympathy to bring in a terrible, uninformed, myopic, undemocratic, autocratic, or an emperor to power. You are jeopardizing the life of millions of innocent Nigeria. So, with the fear, Nigerians are not recognizing that we have been baptized into electoral ills, baptized, limited. So, I think at this point, it is done on us to initiate a process, set down mechanism. I think I was engaging with somebody yesterday. He told me that, do I know that protest is expensive as politics in Nigeria? That those who troop out to come and protest, somebody has to fund their belly and their pockets. Of course, to move from, because
print the t-shirts and the banners and the rest of it.
Yes, statistics are 65 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. So, now what we should do as actors, drivers of democratic corridor, we should set down a mechanism that can rewind. You know, when people live with bad mindset, it's disastrous. A mindset that is unchanged, that mindset cannot conceive new idea. A a mindset that is locked up, permanently adamant to change.
As a formed mentality.
Yes, we need to see how we can unlock, redirect, and create room so that Nigeria can say, look, it has been bad. All of us have witnessed it. We know it. Can we now come together collectively in the interest of every household, unborn children, every reasonable Nigerians? Because 2027 or democracy to strive to work is going to be a battle line between reasonable and unreasonable Nigerians.
All right.
So we need to start teaching, educating, telling ourselves that when the car is bad, you take it to workshop. You don't criticize and condemn the car.
I don't know if you can allow me ask a question.
Yeah, we just have to go because our time is up on this one. So I'm very sorry for that. I want to thank you very, very much, Yanda Emmanuel, for gracing this show this morning right here on the Politics and Business Television. Thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we've been looking at the issue of the Electoral Act, and is it a we for voters or a cause for concern? And you've heard from Yanda Emmanuel, a political commentator. He's also an activist, and he has so many, hats. Also, a very big one and all that. And also, we want to especially thank Dr. Moses Paul, the ADC candidate, AMAC, but he's still with us as we'll be diving into the forthcoming election right here in the Federal Capital Territory. We'll be going for a short break now, and the show continues. All right, you're still watching the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, reaching live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And I still remain your host, Somike Joseph Matthew. Now, the Abuja Municipal Area Council elections are fast approaching. Well, polls are scheduled to take place in February 2026, February 21 to be precise, as part of the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. This election will see residents in Amak cast their votes for chairmanship and councillorship positions, a key opportunity for grassroots leadership in one of Nigeria's most vibrant and diverse councils. And with us this morning is one of the candidates who will be vying for the chairmanship position in AMAC. And I have the honor to introduce to you Dr. Dr. Paul Moses, who is the ADC candidate for the forthcoming election. A warm welcome to the show again.
Thank you, as always.
Yeah. All right. So the elections are fast approaching. And what are your manifesto for the people of AMAC? Let's begin with that.
The elections are not far approaching. It's just a few days from here. 21st is just barely 10 days from here. So it's important for the electorate to be informed because this is not time to sleep anymore. You know, it's time to be aware. It's time to wake up because the next 4 years of your life is going to be determined by your inaction or action, the choices you're going to make on the 21st, of this month, which is just next week, Saturday, really, and I will often say this even before I dive into my manifesto, that this is more important than the presidential election.
Wow.
You hear a lot of people talk about 2027. Your life is about to be impacted in the next few days, 10 days. And you're talking about 2027. 2027 at best, you're talking about big, bold ideas, where the presidency and the federals are concerned. The things that impact our life directly, from security to primary healthcare to primary schools, which are the basis of our lives, which are what you call the Human Capital Development Index. These are the things that impact us primarily. Are within the constitutionality of the chairman. And yet, many people do not participate in this most important election. I have had a privilege and opportunity to have been everywhere around the world, and I see where the elderly, the rich, the poor, the mighty in society, especially during council elections, they come out because these are the things that impact their life, directly. And sometimes they say we are third world because the things that are primary, we put them as secondary. And the things that are secondary, we put them as primary. That's what you see happening here. The 2027 election is just this presidential election. What impacts your life is primary. Primary healthcare, primary school, primary waste management, health, drinking water. These are the things. And guess what? I'm already talking about my manifesto. This is the most important geographical space in Africa, Abuja Municipal Area Council. This is the symbol of the country. This is not even something to joke about or play about. Every decision that impacts Africa and Nigeria stems right here. The president lives here. All the ministers are here. All the diaspora embassies are here. The National Assembly is here. This is ground zero. Whatever happens in Nigeria is right here. So it's important for somebody who understands governance, who is open for transparency and accountability, somebody who understands how to navigate the energy of the young people, because that's where our security context lies. And this is what I'm bringing to the table for the Abuja residents, a place where I have lived at least 40 years of my life. I went to primary school here. I own a PhD in environmental resource planning. And I'm saying that as part of what I know best to do is to ensure that we have quality education. Today, AMAC is failing. AMAC is on its belly. AMAC is on the ground because education is zero. Children in primary school are sitting on the floor. I'm having to fix primary school right here in AMAC as a private citizen. I'm bringing desks to primary school in Kapua, right here in Lube. I'm fixing toilets for Tunga Nasara Primary School, right here in Amak, under Gumi Ward. You go to Tunga Madaki 2-3 years ago, I'm fixing the primary healthcare center because this is fundamental to our life. This is what I'm talking about because primary school is under the constitutionality of the chairman. Primary healthcare center. I've had relatives and uncles who have died. The first aid that you meet, if you get whatever happens to you at night, the first aid you meet is a primary healthcare center. We have about 50 primary healthcare centers in Amak. Half of them are in the bush. The rest have they don't even have, nobody's even attending to anybody. This is something that should be put on emergency.
Now, if you become the chairman, how are you going to, fix all this thing? Let's begin with these primary healthcare centers that you just mentioned about. How are you going to go about it?
I mean, sometimes, people in government and in governance makes it look as though it is something that you need some kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's straightforward. I just told you now that I'm putting desks for children in school. I'm roofing primary healthcare centers. Channel public money for public good. This is all we're talking about. It's not rocket science. You don't have to know anything. I go, I pay, they make desks. Children will not sit on the floor. The tools that are required for teachers and pupils, provide for it. Ensure that you channel what is available for that. That's what you need to do. It's not something out of the box that you need to work out for. And ensure that the dignity of teachers are returned. I'm going to ensure that teachers are trained at least twice every year with the best of trainees that you can get, because the quality of our lives has to do with the quality of trainings we get. And I'm big on training. This is what I'm going to be doing, and I'll ensure that that is done. It's not rocket science. I mean, I have a PhD in environmental resource planning. Waste management is a multi-million-dollar industry. Today, Amak is very dirty. We will say, go to Karshi, smelly and stinking, because there is a management structure to it that if you don't understand the things that are supposed to, the recycling mechanism that are required, to ensure that this becomes a tool, for production of fertilizers and several other goods and materials. If you don't understand that, then you look at it as what? As a problem. Same thing applies to people who have asked me questions. So what are you going to do about the young people? Young people are just energy. Nigeria is full of energy, and energy is what is the essence of life. But guess what? Energy can neither be destroyed nor created. It can only be converted from one form to another. If you don't provide solace, if you don't provide initiative for these young people, then go smoke igbo, then go harass people. Because they are just energy. That's why touts are harassing people today in Amak. People can't do business. Amak can't, you don't even have a payment system. At the time where you make payment to NEPA, you make payment for your recharge card, you make payment for school fees from the comfort of your home. There is no one-stop shop through which you can make payment in Amak. Touts are harassing us. Just confusion in the corridor of power. That can stop by just a single tool. I mean, when you take your phone, what do you see? You just see applications.
Okay, we have instances recently where primary school teachers had a loggerhead with the FCT minister. And that begs the question, where are the chairmen of the 6 area councils? So if you become chairman, are you going to say, are you telling us that primary school teachers, like you just said some moments ago, wouldn't have to fight the FCT minister over allowances and what have you?
I was a head boy in my primary school, and I still remember teachers like Roslyn Aminu. I still remember, very quality people who taught us, who didn't have to go through this horrendous.
So which was the primary school, if I may ask?
In Abuja here. That's a good one for you. It was called.
Because I went to primary school in Abuja myself.
Oh yeah, it was called Phase 1 Primary School. I think the name has been changed now to Kadana School Primary School. And I have fantastic people. I'm not one of those who don't have problem. I have James Ibrahim, I have Chat Jato, I have lots of them. And they all live here, and they're all rooting for me, and they're all going to vote for me. So I'm excited about that.
I also went to primary school, so maybe.
So let's not deviate from his thoughts.
I'm trying to. Because I told you didn't go to primary school.
Let's not deviate
You didn't go to primary school.
So please let him continue what he's saying.
You didn't go,
Exactly. But staying with the cause, our life are based on the dignity of teachers and pupils. I'm going to give priority to teachers. Why I'm so passionate about this is that you can see I've had the opportunity, because I went to school, at least that alone allowed me to be 10 countries across the world. Because I went to school, I can hold interactions in Harvard, in Oxford. And I'm quick to remind them, I didn't go to any of those schools. All my schooling was done here because of quality of education then, not now. Today, how many of our primary school pupils, how many of our graduates can even speak English when you bring them here? Because the foundation is wrong. Because if you don't have good teachers teaching you, they are going to be teaching nonsense and garbage in, garbage out. So I can assure you that there are initiatives through which trainings can be done. And I can tell you, I'll be the number one man in front, fighting for their cause, ensuring that they have what they need. That's what I'm going to be doing as chairman.
Okay, Dr. Mo, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Talking about good teachers, there's a saying that goes that teachers' rewards are in heaven. Now, but this time the reality is on ground. We'll let to enjoy what is on earth before we go to heaven.
Absolutely.
Yes, you did mention you went to primary school here. Now, from their time to now, what has really changed in terms of quality of teaching, infrastructure? What do you think have changed, and what can you do, to solve those or to tackle those changes?
It is so sad because Chidi, we have retrogressed increasingly. I've been to many primary schools within AMAC where goats, sheep, and human beings are sharing the same room. Children are sitting on the floor, no clean water, no good environment. Between when I went to primary school and now, there are at least 1 million private schools have erupted. Because every time there's a failure in governance, we make room for other things to come. I mean, I had a private discussion with the president of Rwanda, who said to me that my children went to primary school, public school. Actually, I went to public school all my life, but my children, I'm paying millions for them to be in private school because the public school system has failed.
I also went to public school, LEA primary school, Germany, precisely. And
can you go there now if they
I visited there to to collect my first school living certificate. And what I saw was really appalling, actually. In fact, the teachers were looking at me.
All right, let's quickly.
I need to. Okay,
yeah, we don't have all the time.
Yeah, but let me ask one question. You've been asking.
Okay, very quickly.
Thank you very much, Oji. All right, the second question I want to ask, going forward now, by the grace of God, on the 21st of February, the elections will take place. Looking at the current, electoral amendment, that is the e-transmission and the the manual support system. What are you going to do? How are you going to manage it? Because you are more or less the first beneficiary of this new baby from the Senate.
Is it a source of concern for opposition party like you?
It's a big source of concern. That's why you can see that a lot of the opposition are out there, protesting, because like we said in the earlier session of this show, we said that there shouldn't have been any room. You see, anytime you are talking or you are reading anything, and then they now say, but, you see that but, it has cancelled everything that was before it.
It's reverse.
Yes. So as it is right now, the fact that they said, if this doesn't work, that manual collation, Nigerians, you can be sure 100% bleach will happen.
But the president has not assented to it, so don't you think
that is why it is important for the National Assembly to go back They are human beings. Sometimes we make this thing look like it's rocket science. If you make a mistake, or if the people are saying they don't want something, go back and give them what they want.
Okay, now bringing our attention to the issue of AMAC, where of course you'll be challenging all other candidates from other political parties for the seat as the number one citizen of this area council, as we call it here. Now, how is the coalition working? The ADC is a coalition of political parties. How are you guys galvanizing yourself against the ruling party here in the FCT?
I mean, it's not easy. I can tell you that the surge is beautiful, when people of like minds are coming together from different places. But again, you have a place where poverty has been weaponized, where the politics of money, is taking center stage. So it's a very difficult elections. I've lost weight, I've barely slept in months and all of that, because you have to be educating people from house to house, from village to village, from community to community, telling them the importance of not taking 5,000 or 10,000 or 2,000 and voting for the wrong people, of taking salt and Maggi and sugar and all these things are not, they look...
And 5 kg of rice.
And 5 kg of rice and palm oil and all these things, and mortgaging your future and the future of your children, so that we'll not be talking about the lack of facilities in primary school, where, chairman owns cars and is dashing cars out. When I investigated when children were out of school, over 4.1 billion disappeared. And then they steal your money, they come back to you and they start distributing it and all of that. So these are the things the opposition has to face, so it's like you are rotating and revolving at the same time. You are doing a lot of work. You're talking to the people, you're also negotiating with the coalition party, because when things come together, there's going to be a jam. Like they say, when I enter bus, when the car begin to move, and they go begin balance. So with the balance, nobody say we don't balance but as we they go, the balance they happen.
And that brings the next question very quickly, as we try to wrap up the issue of support you are getting from the chieftain of the party. We have the former presidential candidates of the Labour Party now with you people, the person of Peter Obi. We have the former vice president talking about Atiku Abubakar, the former Senate president, Senator David Mark, and so many top-notch politicians who are now in your party, the ADC. So how much support are you really getting, from them?
I'm getting all the support that's required, especially from Mr. Peter Obi, who has been on the street with me for several days now, weeks, and helping to also raise the consciousness of the people where doing the right thing is concerned. I get all the support. From all the headlines. I'm a good baby, I get all the support that I need.
Well, this kind of baby that has your white mustache.
All right. So of course, our time is fast spent, and when you are really enjoying yourself when it comes to the money issue, that's when time will tell you that I cannot wait.
I'm not your friend.
I'm not your friend. All right. So we just have to thank you, Dr. Moses Paul, for gracing the show this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
And we really appreciate you coming here and giving us your own insight into things happening nationally, and of course things concerning the forthcoming general election. So Chidi, did you enjoy yourself today?
Of course I enjoyed it. I prefer that I have Dr. Mo by my side, and it's interesting to know that I went to the same university with Dr. Mo as well.
Really? Which university is that?
University of Abuja.
Abuja, yeah.
So University of Abuja students, wherever you are, this is our own.
Okay.
Let me put it out. This is our own.
All right. Thank you very, very much. And I want to appreciate you out there for keeping in touch with us every morning right here. And we'll be here again at the same time tomorrow from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning to bring you the very latest right here on the P&B morning show. And I want to especially thank the boys, operating behind the scene. Behind the scene.
Very important.
Yes, I
Very
need to, we
important.
need to appreciate all of them, the likes of Innocent, the likes of Josie, and so on and so forth. And of course, Chidi, my co-host, also, who is, putting fun, all the comic.
Well, OJ, we'll have to relax.
All right.
While we deliberate.
All right. So thank you very much, Abuja. Thank you very much, Nigeria. Thank you very much, the world. Let's see you again tomorrow. I will bring you more right here on the P&B morning show on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. God bless you. As we meet again. Bye-bye.